Hi, everybody. Welcome back to On Air, My Beatles Collection. I'm Charlie, and today we're talking about the John Lennon box set, Power to the People. So there's been quite a bit of noise today about that. I'm going to give you an update on the different configurations and prices, and maybe talk a little bit about some of the controversy and some speculation, and we'll see where it goes. So let's just start with the facts. At 9 o'clock Eastern time this morning, there was the announcement of the Power to the People box set. There's several different configurations. I'll start at the lowest price. How's that? The lowest price is for a single CD, and that's $18.98. And then there's a 2 CD, which is $29.98. There's a let's see, I'm trying to go in price order. There's a 2-color vinyl set that is online exclusive. That's $75.98. And there is a black vinyl, which is $64.98. It's also 2 LPs. Then there's a 4 LP set, $169.98. And then there's the 9 CD, 3 Blu-ray, Super Deluxe with book, etc., $239.98. So those are the different configurations. The controversy, of course, is about the song with "Woman is the blank of the world." That, of course, was included in the original Sometime in New York City LP, which is heavily represented here, both live and in the Ultra Mix. There's an Ultra Mix disc in this 9 CD set, and it primarily is focused on content from Sometime in New York City. They don't refer to the name of that disc as Sometime in New York City. They just call it the New York City Ultimate Mix. So, and then there's a New York City Evolution disc. Those are discs 4 and 5 of the 9 CD set. So, of course, the original Sometime in New York City had a lead single that got limited airplay at the time because it had the N-word in it. And, of course, it was not a racist song. It was a pro-woman, sort of a woman's liberation song. And it was about women being slaves to the slave. We make them paint their face and dance. It had many of those controversial lines that had to do with John and Yoko's belief of how women were treated in general and by society. And so John was on TV many times and on radio and so on, explaining what the whole point of the song was and what the whole point of using that word in the song was. There was absolutely no racist intent whatsoever. And you could argue whether you're a woman's liberator or not, and whether you like the politics of the time. That album in and of itself was extremely political. A lot of people didn't care about that at the time, or they did care a lot about that at the time. And we're much more politicized society now, so it might even be more alienating to some people that we're getting reminded of John's positions then. But there's a lot of feminist stuff in that. Yoko had Sisters, Oh Sisters, and there was other stuff on that album that clearly was feminist, pro-woman, and that song may have been the anthem for that. My speculation, and I could be dead wrong, my speculation is that may be a hidden track. It's been on every iteration of Sometime in New York City that's been released over time. So it was on the vinyl initially, of course, back in 72 or 3, whatever year that was. And it was also on various CD releases. It was even in box sets. So to not include it in this box set seems odd to me. And John certainly would not have avoided any political discussion about the use of the song. He wouldn't care. He couldn't care less if people had a problem with that. So it's odd that his son and his wife would make the decision not to include it. and it appears to not be included. It's certainly not listed in any of the track listings. My speculation is it may be a hidden track. They did do hidden tracks, sort of Easter eggs, if you will, on the Mind Games box, and you know, it's something that particularly that happens with the Blu-rays a lot. And there are in the Super Deluxe set, there are 9 CDs and 3 Blu-rays, and they're not video Blu-rays, they're audio Blu-rays. So that's a perfect place to bury something as an Easter egg or a hidden track. So I don't know that. I have no inside information about that, but I believe there's at least a possibility that the song is going to be included there. And if you really want to hear the song, you know, it's readily available. So, you know, we're just not going to get a remix of it if it's not included at all. And you could argue that, you know, Sean wimped out on this and, you know, caved to current values or something. And you could even argue that John never would have done that. Some people online are saying they're not buying the box, or they're not buying any of the various configurations for that reason. Now, the focus of this box, the focus of this release, I should say, is the one-to-one concerts in New York City from that time. And that song would have been on the set list both in the afternoon and the evening show. There were 2 shows. We're getting most of both of those shows. We're not getting that. At least we're not getting that above ground. Maybe it's maybe it's buried in there as a hidden track. But so if you buy the 1 CD version of this, you're going to get the concert. You buy the 2 CD version, I think you're going to get more of the concert. But you know, to get into the Sometime in New York City stuff, referred to here as New York City Ultimate Mix, you know, you gotta get a little deeper. You gotta either get the 4 LPs or the 9 CD 3 Blu-ray set. So you know, you will not get that song that we're talking about in the concert CDs, and I'm pretty sure they wouldn't even bury it there as a hidden track. I think if they're going to bury it as a hidden track, it's probably going to be in the 9 CD 3 Blu-ray box, and I'd even bet further it would be on one of the Blu-rays. But I don't know any more than anybody else does here, and there's a lot of speculation. I belong to some forums where, you know, we talk about this stuff, and there's a lot of chatter about people saying, I'm not buying it. You know, I can't believe Sean caved to, you know, whatever society's current sensitivities. You know, if you want this stuff, you know, the question is, can you live without another release of the same song that you've already got? Most of this stuff you've heard before, until you get into the 9 CD box, and then you're going to get a bunch of stuff that were either from television or from rehearsals, you know, in John's apartment. I mean, you know, you're going to get stuff that you know, you're not going to get elsewhere and that you've never heard before for the most part. But you got to go deep into this thing to get that. So let me just talk about the you know, the 9 CD part. So, you know, the first CD is supposed to be a hybrid of the 2 concerts, the day and the evening set. So it must be the best take of each song or something along those lines. And then the disc 2 in the 9 CD set is the afternoon show. Disc 3 is the evening show. And in all 3 of those cases, we're assuming that the Woman song is not one of those. And then disc 4 is the New York City Ultimate Mix. Disc 5 is New York City The Evolution Mix. And then disc 6 is called the Studio Jam. And then 7 is the Frank Zappa live stuff that was the second disc in the Sometime in New York City set. So there's that, and there's some other stuff on that as well, and that spans the years 1969 to 1971. And then disc 8 is a combination of David Peel interactions with John, Elephant's Memory. There's some stuff from Ann Arbor that was recorded in Ann Arbor, some stuff recorded in New York City, and the time frame there is 71 to 72. And then there's a little more New York City and Ann Arbor stuff on disc 9, And there's also some time that John spent with Phil Oakes. So that is the 9 CDs. I'm not really sure at this point what's on the Blu-rays. There's 3 Blu-rays, and all I know that it's not video. So that's odd in and of itself. But personally, I love the audio Blu-rays because, you get, 5.1 surround sound. You get all kinds of, high quality audio there. And if you have the equipment to play it, I happen to have a surround system in my house, Blu-ray player. So, I love having the Blu-ray in there. I wouldn't not buy the box if it didn't include the Blu-rays, but I like the fact that it is, and that'll probably be the focus of my play of this set. I'm interested in what the remix, ultimate mix of the New York City stuff sounds like. I remember that the concert performance wasn't the greatest thing I ever heard. You could argue about whether you'd like to listen to Yoko's stuff, but there's certainly some of that. Now, her tracks on the Sometime in New York City album were probably the best tracks, other than maybe Double Fantasy, the best tracks she's ever had her name on. The live band was, not the best band ever. And, John was kind of rusty and nervous, playing live. So, it's not the greatest concert ever. I'm sure they've improved the sound considerably. And I don't know that if they've modified anything. Now, another cause of discussion today, and there was some speculation right up until 9 o'clock this morning about whether it was the full concerts, which included Stevie Wonder and Roberta Flack and other people that were on the bill. These concerts were not just John and Yoko. Apparently, none of that stuff is included here. So it's not really the true one-to-one concerts. It is the John and Yoko portion of the one-to-one concerts. So unless somebody knows otherwise, tell me in the comments if you know otherwise. I'm still kind of looking for set lists and stuff. I apologize that I'm doing this now at, what time is it? It's 3 o'clock Eastern time. I took my grandkids to Legoland today. So I rushed out a video this morning after I found out what was coming in the Power to the People box. And I just got back a little while ago and decided to give you all an update here. So that's it for my update for right now. I'm not going to, hold my breath until I turn blue and complain about the absence of the Woman song. I've already placed my order for the box. I will remind you, if you want the color vinyl, you can only order that online. That's an online exclusive, and that's $75.98 for that. So that's my update for now, and as we get more information or opinion grows or further facts come out, I'll be here to update that for you. So that's it for now. Thanks for stopping by. If you like this video, always please hit that thumbs up. And if you're not a subscriber, I always ask you to please do that. And if you're not a member of my Facebook group called My Beatles Collection, please take a ride over there and see if you'd like to join that. We have about 5,100 group members. That page is about a year old. That group is about a little over a year and a half old. So it is a members only. You have to answer some questions to be approved to get in there. And once you're there, you're going to see a lot of my collection that's around the room here, and a lot of other people's collection, which is really the whole point, is for people to show the cool stuff that they have in their collection. And every once in a while, we have news, breaking news to report here. So that's what we have here today. So thanks for stopping by here, and take a look over there if you would. That's it for now. Take care. Thanks.